temptation, the test. At the end of the day, yeah, I just feel that it's not worth it. Like keep like fighting with my dad.
And then what's next? How things going after that?
Yeah. So that's how it is with my dad, and then yeah, basically we have some issues, and then at the time, yeah, he said sorry, and then all that. Standard. I mean, if someone feels bad, and then you're gonna say sorry, but at the time, yeah, I cannot forgive him because, yeah, it's like a biggest betrayal. I mean, like I said, if a business partner or your friend, probably that's normal, right? You have a
Right.
fight, but this is like a dad and
Yeah.
son relationship, so it takes a while. Um, yeah, I didn't speak with him for months, so they just tried to survive basically.
Mm.
Yeah, but what do you want to? I don't have any details, but basically, it's not our relationship is not really that good anymore after that. And then probably the next step is just because my um, life story. I mean, if you remember, yeah, the money that I spend, that I receive, I spend for the student loan and now the credit card and everything. But in the end, yeah, long story short, I still survive. And then I still survive by that means that I still can have food in my stomach.
Right.
At the time, I only have like the scooter, motorcycle, and then the motorcycle, I always can pay the gasoline full. Never, yeah. And then, long story short, a year or two after I came back, my girlfriend at the time, and then now my wife got the green card. So we can get married, and then I can go back here again to start a new life. So at the end of the day, and this is already like probably a couple years I didn't spoke like really with my dad. Even as I spoke only like, "Hey dad, how are you?" And then I'm good. Okay, that's it. So and then whenever like we spoke, he probably felt guilty, and then
Right.
he always gonna say, "Yeah, if I have money, I'll pay back that." And so our conversation is not far from I'm gonna pay back the money. I'm gonna pay back the money. So yeah, but at the end of the story, God still provide. That's what I'm gonna say. And then in my real life, because at the end of the day, yeah, I still have, yeah, like I said before, food, and then I can have like all the clothes still. I can still live, sleep uh like under the roof, and then so although it's hard, but God still provide. And then long story short, yeah, the forgiveness came because yeah, I just realized that yeah, whatever happened with your dad is still human. I mean, it's not perfect, but God, at the end of the day, is always provide you.
So at what point, right, from that falling out with your biological dad, and then you felt betrayed as well with our Heavenly Father? And at what point did you realize that our Heavenly Father still provides despite all the things that happening in your life?
Yeah.
The difficulty is more dead than you were in before, instead of getting better.
So I think my turning point is I'm just thinking when you keep living under God's like providence, like not providence, like under God's rule, you don't abandon God basically. Because at the time I complained like, God, why is it happening, and every time, but I still wanna like obey Him, like obey, which mean like I still tithe whenever I have the money,
Wow.
and then yeah, money left. I mean, and then yeah, I still basically put my hopes in Him. Although probably I got hurt, like yeah, why is this happening? And then got a provider really gonna provide, but He provided.
Right. So it's
I
more
mean,
like the knowledge that Yeah,
Yeah,
you still have the knowledge that
yeah,
God is this and that,
yeah.
but you just, even though you don't feel that.
I mean, you just still try to do the right thing
Mm.
because I can just left my student loan. I don't pay,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then when I don't pay, the guy that gonna be chased, not me, but the
Mm.
guarantor. And then I have money at the time because I don't pay the loan, right? I don't need
Right.
to pay the
Yeah.
loan, but I still want to pay because I want to honor God. And then at the time also when that 2009, I want to go back to Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, someone asked me like, "Hey, do you want to just stay here, like overstay, basically, and then you can apply for asylum and then whatever, like
Right.
eh, not so legal stuff, basically." And then by the time I said no because I want to honor like the right way,
Mm.
the God said at the time for me to go home,
Mm.
so I just go home. Although I can stay here with like overstay, probably illegal, and then
Mm.
later, and then I don't want to do that. So I think the turning point is like when I realize when you honor God, God will honor you.
I see.
And then although it's not smooth, like yeah, the student loan and then the credit card debt, adding the credit card debt with my dad, and then at the end of the day, God just wanna like probably uh, makes me like grow, like
I see.
yeah, so I can grow in my like when you don't have anything, that's the best time for you to put your hope in God.
Mm.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
test. And then when I don't really have anything at the time, yeah, I just say, God, I don't already don't have anything. I have
Mm.
student loan, I have credit card debt now.
Mm.
Although I'm mad probably at you, like why you let this happening
Mm.
to me, but I still honor. Like I pay the student loan, I pay the credit card still. Although with yeah, I have nothing basically left. But at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, I still have food. I still have the gas money, like I said before.
Uh-huh.
So that's I think the way how God provides me. I
Mm.
mean, with any other way, like I don't know how to explain it really.
Mm.
Okay.
Because at the time I only live by my saving, and then my saving is not a lot also, and then
Mm.
but just the right timing, and then God like provided me like, and then yeah, through my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, like yeah, got green card, I can go back here.
Right.
Mm.
That's like a miracle. I
Yeah.
mean, just how God probably wants to mold me. That's what
Mm.
I wanna. And then I think the 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 ultimate reason is about the forgiveness because God want me to forgive my dad with
Mm.
like by giving all that like temptation, the test. At the end of the day, yeah, I just feel that it's not worth it. Like keep like fighting with my dad.
Oh.
That's what because my dad is kind of like a very prideful man.
Mm.
So when he says sorry, like I know his pride got hurt.
I see.
And then when he said that I'm gonna pay back your money, like blah blah, blah, that's where his pride got hurt because
Mm. Yeah.
he must felt as a dad that like he's a failure,
Mm.
things like that. And then yeah, I just don't feel it's worth it for me to like keep like what do you call it getting mad at him because it's not bringing you peace
Right.
Mm.
because I love my dad, although like he still like yeah, hurt me with that action, like borrowing the credit card. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's my dad. So and then yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, at one point I just say to him, "Dad, can I speak with you like on the
Mm.
phone, basically?" And then I
Mm.
said, yeah, I don't want you to actually bring the money stuff again
Mm.
because yeah, right now I can say to him that yeah, I think he can also see that God provided me as well.
Right. I see.
And then yeah, I just said to him that yeah, God already taking care of me, and then so you don't need to pay back the money. I
Mm.
mean, and then you don't need to feel guilty about
Mm.
the money anymore because and then yeah, so just want to be normal. I said to him,
I
Mm.
see.
and when I said that to him, like he just basically probably cannot say anything. I don't know how to respond.
Right. Yeah.
Like yeah, so that's the turning point. I think the turning point is when I realized that nothing better that like everything that happened is like God, what God wants you to be to in this situation because He wants to mold you. And
I
then at the
see.
end of the day, that forgiveness is came from you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
God already forgive you, and then now you need to forgive
Wow.
someone else. And
Yeah.
then and this in this situation is my dad,
Mm.
which is all that felt of betrayal, and then that really left me like a deep scar in my like emotional like relationship with him basically. And then I want that to be like normal again, and then probably that's where I can see that, oh wow, this is how, if we doing some sin or something, and then that's how God like must feel like you got betrayed by your own like
Yeah.
Right.
creation. And then
Mm.
it must be hard to forgive, but
Yeah.
He's the one that forgive us. So
Mm.
and then that's the term. Yeah, I can say probably it's not easy. That's what I say. And then I mean, especially with the condition like this is my dad. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
That's an incredible story. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
just listen to it. I got reminded like how we are supposed to be grateful. Who God's already forgiven us
Mm.
Yep.
on all the things that. I mean, I believe it's not just your dad or you that made mistakes. I mean, all of us
Yep.
made mistakes, and we're still human. And it's just like
Mm.
mistakes is in our everyday life, right?
Yeah.
And as a guy, all of us here have pride, and
Mm.
had the way that you handle things is it's telling me that yeah, we need to set aside our
Mm.
pride to
Yeah.
just come forward, initiate that forgiveness. It's
Mm.
it's amazing that you were able to look at God in that situation. I don't know if I hope that I could be like you, looking at God like that. Even though you're mad at God, but you're still, again, just like what you said, you didn't abandon God. You still keep trying to honor God, and you have that knowledge of God as a provider, and you believe in that. You believe in that still, although I guess you didn't see it
Yeah.
at that moment.
Mm.
It's just incredible to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, yeah, really admire that
Yeah.
faith, right? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say it's not like what do you call it? I'm not saying that I'm a really good guy or anything. I just make it simple. I'm kind of like don't want to think too much. Don't like drama, things like that. And then yeah, probably that's one of the reason also like yeah, when I don't have anything, yeah, that's the easiest time when you can put your hope in God. But when you have things,
Mm.
that's also the easiest way that actually you can forget God.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I want to say. And then at the time, yeah, although probably when the time that I forgive my dad is the time when I have things,
Right.
but yeah, I just want to honor God. So that's how I want to live my life basically. And then yeah, when you feel not when you feel, but when you in the situation, like when you're in the temptation, when you're in the task, you're gonna feel like it's hard, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, you can see that, oh, this is why they God gave you like a test, because if not this, there won't be any story,
Right.
there won't be any testimony. And then
Yeah.
yeah, but forgiveness is something that I say is something that the hardest. Yeah, that's why the song like sorry is the hardest. Sorry is the hardest thing to say. Yeah, things like that.
I don't know what song that, but yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it is
Sorry seems
difficult.
to be. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, because it takes you to forget your pride.
Right.
Because when you say sorry, you humbling yourself basically, and then you just wanna say that although it's hard, but you need to see it from like God's perspective. I mean, it's not really about you,
Right.
but it's about God. God already forgive you, and then why don't you want to forgive someone else?
How did you feel after that moment that you call your
Forgave.
dad,
Yeah.
and forgive?
Yeah, so I after that, yeah, to be honest, I felt relief
Mm.
um, from myself. I don't have any more grudge why my dad doing that anymore to me. Like, because before, like feeling of betrayal,
Right.
things like that, and then it's kind of like, yeah, when you forgive, you're not forgetting, but you don't want to think about that anymore. I mean, it's still there, the scar is
Uh-huh.
still there, but you just believe that God already like heal you, and then because it's not what I want to say. It's not about you and you. I mean, yeah, you need to give and take, right? God give you forgiveness, like I said before. God gave you forgiveness. You want to give that forgiveness to someone else. So it's always that way. I mean, we want to see like from God's perspective, yeah. And then, but after that, yeah, I felt relief. To be honest, I don't know with my dad. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I just can say that. Yeah, when I forgive him, yeah, you don't need to worry about that anymore.
Right.
Sometimes you can feel like, yeah, because you have something now and before you don't have it. I don't want to say that, but I just want to say to my dad that it's not about the money. It's about the feeling at the time. Like yeah, I felt betrayed by you, so I forgive you. Then yeah, we don't need to talk about this anymore. basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that also improve your spiritual life? How you see God?
Um, of course. I mean, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's how you learn, like to see it from God's perspective, right? And then when God forgives the human sin, like how he did, yeah. Although I'm not saying I'm like God, but I wanna like do like what He's doing to us,
Right.
basically as human. And then it it takes what do you call it? Uh, yeah, it takes you to like don't be too pride, don't take pride like as your, because usually when you don't want to forgive, that's because of your pride. That's what I'm saying. And then when you take away your pride, then that's when you start to forgive.
I see.
Because when you forgive, it's basically, yeah, you don't want to think about you. It's not about you. It's about something higher than you. And then uh it takes something like yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but spiritually, yeah, I feel that, yeah, it takes me like next level of peace.
Right.
uh so you don't feel grudge anymore, you don't feel that you have something burden.
Wow.
Hi. You don't yeah. So you don't feel the burden anymore, basically. And then yeah, it takes when you forgive someone, God takes that heavy burden out of you.
I see.
That's what I want to say, because before I forgive my dad, it's kind of like, yeah, this heavy burden. When I talk to him, there's kind of like this wall between me and him, and then he always, yeah, say a little bit about the debt, things like that, because he felt bad. And then and that makes me reminded me again, like, oh yeah, about the debt, and then about the betrayal. But once you forgive, although not, it's not about the money, like I said again, yeah, that feeling of betrayal it's got lifted, basically. And then because in the like in the Bible story, yeah, basically God is the one that forgive the human, and human is the one that betrayed him. So it's a higher level. You can see like the similarity, basically. And then yeah, that's how I want to see it. Yeah.
Right. So, just for our listeners, right? After that, did you and your dad have a relationship that is getting better over time? And
Yeah.
right now, how are things?
So like I said before, my relationship with my dad is always awkward. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, he's a provider and things like that. But now it's more normal, I want to say, like back to normal, which mean that, yeah, we can talk about more things other than my dad. And then yeah, about how's he doing, and then he can share a little bit like now I have a daughter,
Mm.
and he can give me advice about that
Mm.
things. I don't think before I can speak like more than like 5 minutes, because I only want to know if he's like okay. That's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I felt like still like feeling something like bad, the grudge and everything. But
Yeah.
after that, yeah, I can just speak normally, like how's you doing, and then more than just like how you doing, that's fine. And then yeah, more advice from him, and then
Mm.
I yeah restored my image, like
Mm.
his image as a dad, basically. And
Mm.
then yeah, he just feeling that yeah, he's also human, he needs forgiveness.
Mm.
I'm also human, I need forgiveness, so
Mm.
we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
mean, me and my dad, it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be a blessing for a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel blessed. I hope the listeners will feel blessed as well with the stories, with what all the all the points that you made, like how God's still there for you, how you handle this situation,
Mm.
how pride is one big enemy that we need to overcome to
Mm.
forgive, and
Yep.
how forgiveness will lift up that burden
Mm.
that holding you down, I guess,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And yeah, you felt that peace that you never felt before after forgiving people,
Yep.
especially someone that close to you and hurt you the most. And yeah, for me, that's amazing. I'm pretty
Mm.
sure like the listeners will have a lot of stories about that too. I feel like, I mean, all of us have things that we need to forgive. Probably not now, in the future. Hopefully, this episode will be able to encourage people when
Mm.
that thing happened. And yeah, I encourage people. I encourage the audience, the listeners to share more about their stories. It's always good to tell to share with others, and it's always just like what Cody did today with us. It's going to encourage other people as well to bless more people with what God has already blessed you. So I guess that's the end of
Mhm.
our episode. Thank you again for
Yep.
coming.
Thank you
Thank
for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you for the
Yep.
stories. And is there anything you want to say to the listeners that's probably still struggling to
Uh,
forgive?
yeah. So just last word, probably. If you really have a hard time to forgive, yeah, you just from my experience, you can just see it from the higher perspective.
Hmm.
Just don't see it from your perspective, because when you see it from your perspective, that means you only thinking about you.
Right.
And then when you think about you, that means your pride and your emotions still like controlling you. But when you see it from the higher perspective of how God like gonna approach this like
Mhm.
forgiveness stuff, and you can see it better, that forgiveness is not something that exclusive only given to you,
Mm.
but you need to give in it as well. I mean, in
Mm.
my case, probably with my dad. I mean, but there's so many things, right? I mean, that can happen to your life, and then someone need forgiveness from you. Although the one that uh, probably deserve the forgiveness, not like really asking for forgiveness,
Mm.
but from your own like heart, like you want to forgive that,
I
because
see.
sometimes this is like the one that you can see, like my dad doing
Mm.
something wrong, and then they kind of
Mm.
like feel bad,
Mm.
then I forgive. But sometimes in the situation that you don't that person don't even realize that he's doing something wrong, and then probably someone said something and you got offended, and then
Mm.
you don't, but that guy don't feel like he's offending you, and then that kind of small things kind of happen, and then you still need to forgive.
Mm.
Right? So yeah, forgiveness is kind of like I think it's a really big like subject. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really like something doing wrong, ask for forgiveness, and then you forgive. Not really as like and one story.
Right.
But at the end, like forgiveness is all about like you want to humble yourself to forgive, because yeah, the God already forgive you. Why don't you like forgive someone else?
Mm.
That's an amazing point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to end this episode, and I hope that you guys get blessed from the sharing and the story. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.